other end, madam.
Whoops.
Go.
That was a great flight, wasn't it? I mean, it was so quick.
I've never seen you quite so thirsty before, madam.
Well, would you believe, Martin, darling, I've never tasted vodka before this trip.
Could have fooled me, ma'am.
Come on, let's rock and roll.
Hey Casey,
Hey Ashley,
welcome to Nostalgic Nightcaps.
we're back, baby.
We're so back. I was out of commission for
Yeah.
a long time.
She had my babies, and we each took one to separate continents.
I moved to London and, you wish I was still there.
Yeah, and then we accidentally sent them to the same camp, and now we are here 11 years and 9 months later.
9 months, exactly. But it's not anywhere near their birthday, so I don't really understand why it said that exactly.
Why this time did that bother me so much more?
I don't know. I never cared before.
But anyway, what is this? What is this?
What is this thing? What's going on here? I thought you were supposed to tell us.
Oh yeah, I am. But anyways, listen to what I have to say.
Yeah.
Hi, Nostalgic Nightcaps is a podcast between two people, us,
Two
obvious-
people. Just
any two
like
people
different every time.
who have been best friends for decades. And we are looking back on the media, the books, music, movies, TV shows, whatever we want,
Yeah.
and just kind of analyzing them, looking at them through a new lens and thinking about what we loved about them and sometimes what we now are like, "Ugh, that wasn't so great."
Yes. Yes. Times have changed.
What?
What? Kind of. I mean, going backwards, going forwards, I don't know. It's changed in some way. And each week we paired some kind of drink with it. This week we are talking about the iconic 1998 The Parent Trap, starring Lindsay Lohan.
What? I mean, I'm speechless
I know.
about this movie. So just sit here while we sit in silence and think about the absolute joy that this movie is.
Yes. It's amazing.
And what we're gonna talk, okay? It's just we are going to talk. Don't worry about that. While we talk, what are we drinking?
Okay. So for the absolute life of me, I tried for so long to come up with like a clever name for this. Could not do it. So what we're drinking is a peanut butter Oreo cold brew, you know?
Why? Why that drink?
Why? Because they eat Oreos with peanut butter and they think it's like the weirdest thing ever. Not weird. Pretty normal, you know?
Did you do that because of this movie?
Do what?
Eat peanut butter with Oreos?
Eat peanut butter and Oreos? I have, yeah. Yeah. When it came out, I was like, I gotta try that. And it's good.
And didn't you feel cool as fuck?
Yes. I was like, I'm part of this club.
I was like, I'm like the Halliest of all Hallies in the
Oh my
entire
gosh.
world. She's so
Yeah.
cool. I want to be her at the age of 34. I'm
Yes.
still not as cool as she is. I don't know as much
Same.
about wine as she does.
True. Yeah. She's an expert. I'm channeling her hair right now. I don't know if you
Oh, I do like the little
that.
clip and the
I've got
side
the
bang.
little
Perf.
Hallie cut going on.
Cute. I'm channeling more of a Meredith Blake in
Oh, you are,
a
yeah.
robe, in a lacy robe and a little nightgown.
Love that. Beautiful.
What's in the drink?
What's in the drink? Yeah, I really tried to come up with a name. Could not do it. But it is good. It is delicious. So it is 6 ounces of espresso cold brew, 4 ounces of milk, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, half teaspoon of vanilla extract, whipped cream, and crushed Oreos.
Ooh.
So you are going to melt the peanut butter and drizzle like 2/3 of it around the side of the glass, but reserve some for later. Combine the milk and vanilla extract and froth. Then pour the coffee into the glass, top with the frothed milk, top of that with whipped cream,
Top that.
top that, drizzle the remaining melted peanut butter, and top with crushed Oreos.
That sounds delish.
It is very good. I like it a lot. Give it a try.
I'm going to have to.
You're gonna have to. And come up with a name for it.
I wouldn't have thought of melting peanut butter, but that's actually a really good idea for a coffee to add a little protein.
Yeah, true. And I used Fairlife milk, not only for the lactose intolerance, but it's got a lot more protein.
But for the gains,
Yeah. Look at this.
what does she say? She's like, "That's my kind of or my kind of woman." When
Yeah,
tie-dye girl pulls out the
tie-dye girl.
bag, I was like, "Damn,
I know. I have seen several people talk about tie-dye girl being like their gay awakening.
love that."
I can see it, you know,
Very cool.
wasn't
Yeah.
for me, but
I, I feel like Hallie and her like little group of friends at the beginning of the movie of the camp scenes are just like so much fun.
I know I love them. I feel bad because Annie's friends didn't get like any time.
I feel like Hallie was the star. I understand that they are both played by Lindsay Lohan. Okay. I understand that one is played by Lindsay Lohan and one is played by her twin sister, Kelsey Lohan, who
Yeah,
was
who's
killed by
just
Disney
not
or
as
whatever.
cool.
Is that isn't that the conspiracy or something that she
I have
actually
not
had
heard that.
twin
Oh
sister?
my
I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
goodness. Yeah, I think that Lindsay Lohan did a great job with it.
she was so good. At one point, I was just like, "Hey, hot take," but Lindsay Lohan was the ultimate like child actor.
Right?
She knew exactly what she was doing.
Yes. So good. The accent was a little The accent wasn't the best, but for an 11-year-old playing two starring roles in this movie, in her first movie,
And she's interacting with herself.
yeah, that's gonna be hard. How do you
Super
do that?
hard, yeah. She's very talented.
Very. I did look up her film credits, and first film credit, 1992. She was on an episode of The David Letterman Show as a trick-or-treater dressed as garbage. So, you know,
Bad.
you gotta start somewhere.
Dina Lohan was like, "Get out there in your trash uniform, you trash." Because she
You
was,
are trash.
ooh, she probably did say,
Probably. Yeah.
if you don't know Lindsay Lohan's saga, it's a tough one. And
I I don't know as much about it as I should.
they made a reality TV show, Living Lohan.
Oh my goodness.
I can't even go into it because this movie fills me with so much joy, and that's what I really need in the world that I don't want to think of everything that comes after that.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe we should just get out of the way right in the beginning, the bad part, and then just forget about it.
Okay.
But this what horrible parents. What in the world?
I yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I know that this has been talked about ad nauseum, but like
Mhm.
honestly, every time I watch this movie, I'm like, because you are so charmed by Dennis Quaid and
Mhm.
well, especially Natasha Richardson. Actually, this
Yeah.
time around, a lot of things that Nick Parker and Dennis Quaid did, I was like, that's loser behavior, bro.
Yeah.
I never really put together the fact that Meredith is not the first woman he meets and marries right away. And I'm like,
That's true.
okay, this is a pattern with you.
Oh, I honestly didn't even think about that. That's
Hmm.
rough. Hmm.
It is so rough. Yeah, it's real loser behavior, is all I'm
Like
saying.
11 years apart. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
rough. But he hasn't. really dated much in between. So it's like anytime he meets a woman, he's like, oh, marrying her right now.
Here's the timeline of what happens while Hallie, his 11-year-old, is away at camp. She's away for 8 weeks. So in that time, he meets Meredith Blake, he interviews her, hires her as his PR, I believe,
I think that's what she is. Yeah.
starts dating her, gets engaged to her.
Yep.
And she has not even met his child. And not only that, he has another child that he was just not planning on telling her
He
about.
wasn't gonna tell her. Nope.
And Meredith is not a good person. Very fun. Very, very fun. Very campy. But
Yeah.
like, what?
Terrible person. Terrible person. And like, yeah, how can you even like get engaged to someone when you have a kid and they have not met? How can you do that?
It kind of made me sad because what we hear about Hallie is like how great her dad is when she's like
Hmm.
not around. She's like, he's my best friend. We are a partnership, like all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't think he thinks the same thing.
Oh, that's really sad. That's heartbreaking.
And I do feel a lot more animosity towards Nick than I
Yeah.
have ever done
Yeah.
before.
I agree. And a lot more like I relate a lot more to Elizabeth, the mom.
Elizabeth James is one of my all-time favorite characters. I like think watching that like her and Hallie actually.
She took the wrong daughter. Okay.
She...
Gonna put it out there.
Imagine the destruction that Hallie could have done with a British accent.
Oh man, England is not ready for that.
It's not.
I guess we didn't even say what happens. So let me just throw a little tiny summary for anyone who has not seen this movie in a long time. So it is two 11-year-olds. Annie is from London. Hallie is from Napa, California. And they both go to the same summer camp. They meet and instantly hate each other for no reason. And then they find out that they're twins and that they were separated at birth. One was sent with mom, one sent with dad, and never, ever to be seen again.
Never shall the two meet.
Yes. And they didn't know that each other existed at all.
Extremely fucked up.
Very. So they come up with a plan. They want to get their parents back together because they want to know each other. They want to be sisters.
They
Of
want to know
course.
their parents. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really, really awful.
Yeah. Like what I know that the 90s was different and feel like divorce was a lot different. It's still so egregious how they just were
Hmm.
like, "Hey, we have two.
Yeah.
Just take one."
I'll take one, you take one.
What if
Bye.
they had one kid where they've just cut them right in half?
Yeah.
Okay. Triplets. One and a half?
Oof,
Jesus, guys.
that's rough. While we're at it, why don't I talk a little bit about the history of the Parent Trap? Where does it come from? I mean, where is it? This is based on a 1949 German book called Das Doppelte Lotchen.
Oh, come on, get that high school German out here. What are you
I know
doing? Air Uber would be so upset with
he
you.
would be so mad at me right now. You say it.
No, I couldn't
Das
possibly.
Doppelte Lot Lotkin. I don't know. The double Lottie. Lisa and Lottie, the double Lottie. Or in the UK and Australia, it was called the Parent Trap. So that's
Okay, interesting.
why they had that name for the movies, which started in 1961. There was a movie with Haley Mills
Hmm.
playing both of the
Have you
twins.
seen that?
I have seen that one. Have
Mm.
you?
Yes, and I shouldn't have been surprised that you've seen it because obviously you've seen movies like that.
Yeah.
But whenever like a remake, like Escape from Witch Mountain and stuff, whenever Disney did a remake, my mom would always be like, "Oh, I liked this
Oh,
version when I was a kid," so I would watch like she would get from the library or something. So I
that's
did think it
cute.
was cute, but it doesn't quite have the same charm as this one, and that's because I grew up with
Yeah.
this one as well.
Right. Like this was our childhood. It was
Yeah.
our time. 1961 is when my parents were born. So it was
Oh
even
God.
before their time.
Yeah.
That's old as hell. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, parents. Uh,
Oh shit.
just kidding. What I did not know, there were three made-for-TV sequels. Did you know that?
Yep, I've
Oh my
seen,
goodness.
I'm pretty sure I saw the second one. It was they got the mom's twin sister, right, to date because there were two best friends and one was gonna move away and they thought that if they could make them fall in love or something.
Would
But like that doesn't
yeah.
really make sense. But anyways.
Yeah, because those are from the 80s and
Yeah.
Haley Mills was in all three of
Mhm.
them as a mom of other kids. There was Parent Trap 2, 3, and Hawaiian Honeymoon. That sounds
Okay.
fun.
That's so like Brady Bunch.
I know, right? And then I also learned this in this movie, the 1998 version, the Aunt Vicky, the one Meredith's mom,
Yeah.
says, "You can call me Aunt Vicky." That is the from the original movie, the dad's younger woman.
Yep. Yeah, she
That
is.
is
And I love that so much. You may
that's
call me
great.
Aunt Vicky.
Yeah, so
The
weird.
look. Allie's like, or no, that was
No
that was that
thanks.
was Annie. Never mind. So sorry.
But yeah, that's where it came from.
Love
I want to
that.
watch the other ones, the three sequels. They're not very good.
I wonder if they're on Disney or anything. I don't know. Disney has such weird licensing stuff. Yeah, I like that they had little things that they included in this movie from the original, like
Mm.
when she's singing "Let's Get Together." Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
have like a whole little dance sequence in the original that I actually really loved. Like I think
Mhm.
about it all the time.
Yeah.
And then there's the scene where they both like pop out from behind the tree, and that one is a shot for shot remake of that too.
Yes. And I when she sings the Let's Get Together, it's like right after she meets Aunt Vicky too.
Yeah.
That was cute.
At the hotel, there's also a couple of older movie references from My Favorite Wife, which is one of my all-time favorite classic movies with Cary
Oh,
Grant.
tell me about
So when Nick is making out with Meredith in the elevator and then he sees Elizabeth and he falls,
yeah.
that Cary Grant is doing that when he sees his wife that he thinks had died and he's with his new
Oh
wife.
my.
And
Oh,
then when they're out at the pool and he's like all discombobulated and like looking around and then falls in the pool, Cary Grant also does the same thing.
oh, interesting. I didn't know about that. I've never seen that one.
That makes a lot of sense to me because Nancy Meyers was a huge classic movies gal, so.
That does make sense. I love Cary Grant.
Ugh, he's so hot.
I
Like
know,
my
right?
dream man. Okay.
The heck? What the heck?
What the heck?
Why did I say that? So let's just kind of go through this a bit. I absolutely love the opening scene of their wedding, where they just it's their whole wedding night, but they don't show their faces at all. I thought it's so well done, so cute.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like you get so swept up in the moment that you don't really like, you kind of feel like you're there, that you're
Mhm.
in their shoes, like looking at, because that's kind of how they film it too, where they film it kind of at like chest level.
Yeah.
My non-film degree, the like two film classes that I took in undergrad are really doing a lot of heavy lifting here. But the like the angles that they shoot at kind of like make you feel like that with the waiters pouring champagne, and then you look up at the
Mhm.
sky and there's all the fireworks. It's kind of cutting to them dancing, the fireworks, and all that stuff.
The lady asking if you want a photograph.
And that photograph is like the most important piece of this entire
Key.
movie.
Key. Imagine if they didn't both happen to bring it to camp with them. We'd never know.
How would they have known? Like, sure, they look alike, and sure, they were born on the same day.
You
Sure, one
know,
doesn't have a mom and one doesn't have a dad, but
they got the same locket, whatever,
they could be all coincidence.
Yeah.
And I love it so much that it opens up with Nat King Cole.
Oh, yes.
And then the movie closes out with Natalie Cole, his daughter, singing This Will Be an Everlasting Love.
Oh my God.
I never knew that before, but I looked up the soundtrack because I was like, is this the perfect soundtrack?
Yeah. Oh my God. I've never put that together.
It's such a cool like bookend to the
Yes.
movie.
And at the end of the movie is them getting remarried on the
Hmm.
Q2 again. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Like attention to detail.
This
Amazing.
is like 99.9% a perfect movie for me.
Oh yeah, it is. And we need to I wrote out like almost the whole soundtrack because it is amazing. We got to
It's so
talk about it.
good. Absolutely.
Yeah. LOVE, love, whatever. I don't know how
Yeah.
you are supposed to say the
I that's
title.
why I avoided saying it because
I
I
don't
was
know.
like, I don't want to look like a fool.
Yeah. By that people. It just fits so well in the
Hmm.
scene. And then the next one, you got Bad to the Bone in the poker scene, which
Yeah.
that was like influential, life-changing scene. I was like, she is the coolest person I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, absolutely. That's when I was like, I want to be cool like Hallie.
Yes,
She just like knows herself in a way that I never have known
right?
myself
And she's
after all
11.
these years.
11 years old. How?
I'm gonna be obnoxious film bro and again, but there are like all of these really cool like set pieces throughout, and I'm talking like big and small. Like during the poker one, looking at all of that like money piled up, and then there's like scrunchie and like nail polish
Nail
and lip
polish
glosses.
and
And I was like, this is girlhood. This is like the ultimate. And it's so cool because this movie changes settings a lot and it also changes feeling because sometimes you
mhm.
feel like it's more, a kid's movie, and sometimes it feels more like a romance.
Yeah.
Details like that are so important for setting just the whole mood of what's going on in the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I have played that poker game where there's a bunch of coins and scrunchies and nail polish. Like, because
Oh,
you don't have money, you know, as a
that's
little
so
kid.
cute. Oh, I love it
I used
so
to play
much.
poker with my friends all the time when I was like their age, which is
What?
weird. Yeah.
That's you tried to teach it to me and I was like, I don't know how to play games,
Let's
girly.
let's not do this. But yeah, I've been a games girly from the start.
I always knew you were the coolest. I do love that because I also feel like it's such a contrast between like girly and this thing that you think of men smoking cigars and like being manly, and it's like all these teenage girls.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Not
it's such a
even.
cool scene.
They're 11.
Oh yeah, yeah, preteen girls. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Her hair with the little swoop and the clip and the sunglasses, man.
She looks cool as fuck.
So cool. You got Do You Believe in Magic? The Loving
Hmm.
Spoonful. Great song.
Is that when they're doing the montage of like teaching each other how to be the other person?
Yes. And the handshake. That's the little added thing in here.
The handshake on the dock surrounded by all of this beautiful nature. I was like, I
Yes.
like sap. I noticed so much more this time around. And not just because I was like specifically looking for it. I feel like every time I've watched this, I've gotten more and more things from it.
Yeah. It's like just different points in your life, different things matter.
Yeah. It's just so beautifully shot.
It is. It really is. There she goes. Another classic. Here Comes the Sun, where they do
Hmm.
the little Abbey Road still. How clever is that?
Yeah, that was so fun.
Like it's
I
cheesy. Definitely. Super
I feel like we
corny.
don't get a ton of time in England, but like
Mhm.
they really make the most of those
They
scenes.
do. You even get How Bizarre playing in the
Yeah.
background while you're camping.
And you get in the background, I think his parents just don't understand by DJ Jazzy
Oh,
Jeff
yes.
and the Fresh Prince.
I saw that on which scene is that?
It's when Meredith pulls up in her convertible, I think before she and Hallie officially meet. I
Oh, okay.
believe
When
that
she's
that
with
was when that happened.
that other guy, her assistant.
No, 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 not in the golf cart.
Oh,
Just to the house. Although
okay.
that guy that had one line where he's like, "Ace
Yeah.
cold," I was like, "What's that guy? What's that guy doing?"
Proud of it, babe.
I want to hear that guy's story.
Yeah. Love it. But yeah, it's just great soundtrack
Perfect.
all,
Yeah, it's
all
like
around.
it's like old and nostalgic, and I feel
Mhm.
like that it's so good for a movie like this.
I also love, but I'm also confused by their employees. Butler and the nanny. How, like, they've both had these employees for at least 11 years.
Well,
And they're like,
I don't think Martin the butler has been around quite as long as Chessy has.
yeah, maybe not. But like almost. He's like
Yeah.
part of they even mention. They're like, you're like a lovable brother who just happens to wait on us, which is
Yeah.
like, ooh, yikes,
It's like,
rich
yeah.
people.
In like in the year of 2025, I'm like, can we not pretend that, but
He's not your employee.
I almost feel like Chessy should have been like an aunt,
Yes, that would have made so much more sense.
right?
'Cause why?
I thought she came along when he needed a nanny when, Annie was or Hallie was a baby. And then but it turns out that she had met Elizabeth because
Hmm.
she says, "Oh, I remember you." And she's like, "I knew I always liked you."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Wait, what?" I guess like
yeah,
they'd probably been together like 6 months or something in the babies and then they took them. I don't the timeline is a little murky.
right.
But I I was saying to Ryan how I imagine Chessy because Chessy is the nanny slash kind of like housekeeper. And she's
Hmm.
the only one who sees that Annie is Hallie is acting abnormal. She's like,
Yeah,
this is so weird. And she keeps asking questions and she's kind of like trying to, give her space, but also trying to like be a mother.
pretty much.
Whereas Nick is just concerned with his hot piece of 26-year-old ass. And she
Hmm.
is, I say that like praise like Elaine Hendricks. Holy shit, you're hot.
Yeah.
Uh, non-derogatorily.
Respectfully.
Yes. But Chelsea's the only one who like notices anything.
Yeah.
I was like, Ryan, I feel like Chessy saw what a loser Nick can be and was like,
Mhm.
someone needs to be around to protect this young child.
Yeah. Because Nick, like, he noticed a little bit, but he didn't really like care enough to really
No.
think about it. Because he was like, why do you keep saying dad? Why are you saying she's a lovely girl, whatever? Just like her vocabulary, but not like anything about her actual personality or like behavior other than her speech.
And when Chessy finds out, she has a huge moment where she's like crying and she's like,
I
oh,
know.
I loved her since she was born. And then she's like, I'm gonna go make everything in the house. Very funny.
Love
And,
that.
Nick kind of discovers it in this like, kind of dramatic moment, but he's just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Like, why are you looking at her like that? And then he just lets it go that she's just crying and
No, and then when they tell him that there had been this twin switch and the twins know about each other, he does not react half as emotionally as either Chessy or Elizabeth, who Elizabeth seems to like really, it might be me putting this on her, but she seems to like have regrets about what she did.
yeah.
And Nick does not.
No, it doesn't seem like it. And it it kind of tries to blame it on Elizabeth
Mhm.
too.
Where she walked out.
Because yeah, she walked out, but he just, didn't ever try to do anything about it ever for 11 years.
Me blaming the man always because I
Oh,
am a misandrist at
totally.
heart. I'm like, what did you do, Nick?
Right.
What did you do?
Yes. Why did you feel the need to throw this hairdryer at you and leave forever
Yikes.
while
Yikes.
still wanting you to
We're,
come back and you never did?
yeah. Yeah, they were a mess, and I'm like, should they be together?
No, probably not. No. It was
It
far
is,
too perfect of an end to be realistic.
the two of them are so, like, they're so good. They're such good
Mhm.
actors, and they have good chemistry.
Yeah.
And you kind of forget, like, their faults when they're together and, like, being, like, in the basement or I guess it's not a basement, me, like, poor in their basement that holds liquor. No,
Basement.
it's their wine cellar.
Yes.
Okay.
Like it's thousands of bottles of wine.
Yeah. Nick is a millionaire. He owns a fucking vineyard, okay?
Yes.
But when they're in there and they're having this like, oh my God, that moment where she's like tearing up and he's like, you don't always have to be strong. And she's like, I do. That's our
It was
Nance. That's
it was
Nancy.
so romantic.
Nancy Myers.
He said he owns every bottle ever made of the wine they drink at their wedding.
Mhm.
Ugh.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful, but also like
Yeah, again.
call her, you know? Don't just collect all this wine,
Why do you care more about that wine than your other daughter?
right? When when
Uh,
Elizabeth finds out, she says, like, she is very emotional and she's like crying and she's like, "Oh, I've loved you for your whole life." But it's like, have you? Like, you've literally never met her. You don't know what she's like at all. You didn't care enough to check on her. She could
So
have
we
been dead.
are gonna bring
You'd
it
have
up
no
again. So
idea.
we are gonna keep
No,
bringing
oh,
it
I'm
up.
sorry. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I do too. Can we talk for a minute just about like Nancy Myers?
I don't know that much about her. So you take this.
Well, I don't either. Okay, the thing is, can I just look up her name so I
Yeah.
get this right? Because I'm gonna sound like a dum dum, and everyone's gonna be like, "Yeah, it's okay." Nancy Myers. Nice.
Mhm.
I don't know a lot about her either, because to me, when I was a child, it was like she was like the mom the movie maker for moms, if you will.
What
You
did
know
she
what I
make?
mean? That's what it felt like. But I looked it up, and that's actually very true because she made one of your favorite movies ever, Baby Boom.
What?
Yes.
What?
She also made The Holiday, which is one of our favorite Christmas
Love
movies.
that.
But I just like got stuck on that baby boom. Her life is actually really interesting. You should go and read a little bit more about her because I find her very fascinating.
I have to.
And the fact that she has made two of your favorite movies. And it
Yeah.
makes sense that you would love this movie so much, but it was so weird because, like, in my mind, whenever I heard the name Nancy Myers, I was like, oh, she's for older ladies. And then I was like, oh, we are those older ladies now.
We are. Oh my God.
So I might need to take a little dip back into some things.
You have you ever watched Baby Boom?
Yes, you made me watch it.
How okay. But were we like super young? Do you remember it? Have you watched it as an adult?
No, Ashley.
Okay. Well, now you are the target audience. Okay.
Okay.
Watch it.
Should we
I need to
watch it for the
know.
podcast?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, absolutely. That could be one of your future picks for sure.
Yes, definitely.
What if it was mine? I'm like, let's watch this because I loved it as a
Right. But yeah, I mean, we are the age that Natasha Richardson was in the movie.
Mhm.
She was 35.
And I find such new appreciation for her character.
Mhm.
So when she learns the truth that she's had Hallie, and then Hallie is doing this little sneaky thing where she's going to get everyone together in California to try and do like a last ditch attempt to get Nick and Elizabeth back together, even though he's engaged to Meredith, even though they've only known each other for 4 weeks. And they're getting
Yeah.
married in two months?
2 weeks.
Weeks? Jesus.
It makes no sense.
So she is flipping her damn shit in as she's trying to get ready to get to the airport and travel. She's got
Yeah.
curls in her hair, she's smoking a cigarette, she's got sunglasses on indoors, she's not packed, she's just
Yeah.
like talking a mile a minute. Oh, that
Mhm.
scene.
I'm sorry. I can't handle this. I mean, I haven't seen or heard from Nick Parker in over 11 years, and suddenly I'm flying halfway across the world to... I'm not mature enough for this. If the man didn't make me so nuts, I'd still be married to him. I mean, we came up with this arrangement so that we'd never have to see each other again. I mean, look at me, Martin. Have you ever seen me like this? Don't answer that.
It's so good. So good. Like it's exactly how you would act.
This is kind of related, I guess, British and 30-something-year-old woman, but I have been watching Bridget Jones.
Okay.
I recently showed my husband because he'd never seen the first Bridget Jones, and there's a new one that came out that we still have to watch. So I watched the first Bridget Jones, which I don't know, I think I was like 11 when the first one came out or 12 or
Yeah.
something. That movie stuck with me for some really weird reason, and I loved it. And watching it again as an adult, I was like, this movie made me the person I am. And I
Oh my God.
feel just because she was kind of doing the same thing. She's trying to get ready for this party, She's trying to impress people. She's got curlers in her hair. She's smoking a cigarette. She's vacuuming
Yeah.
the floor. She's got granny panties on. It's like the imagery of like this 30-something-year-old woman who is trying to hold it together. I have never felt more connected to that image.
I've never seen it. Seen like little clips here and there, but I gotta do it.
That will be my pick one of these days too, because oh my
Yes.
God, that's one of my favorite
Yes,
movies.
please. Why were we so attached to these movies about like
Older
30 something
women.
or older women?
We wanted to be that like chaotic woman, I feel
Yeah.
like.
13 going on 30.
Yeah, yeah, we just wanted things to be happening for ourselves as kids, I
Mhm.
feel like. And speaking of which, we didn't really like get into our histories with it. We've kind of been talking about it, but like I
Yeah.
kind of just want to know like like if you remember anything about watching this movie or like loving this movie as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely loved this movie. I watched it all the time. I had it
Mhm.
on VHS.
Yep, in the in the plastic cover.
Yep. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Same.
I don't, I have no idea how many times I've watched this. Probably like
Hmm.
100 times, literally. Like,
Same.
I've seen it many, many times. But yeah, I always loved it. I always thought Hallie was like just super cool, wanted to be
Poor
like her.
Annie.
I know, Annie.
I know, and like she was pretty funny during this one, but like she just did not have the same, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, just character as Hallie did.
Yeah. I I do want to talk about, I mean, go ahead with your history first, and then I want to say something about Hallie.
I mean, absolutely everything you just said. This is one of my favorite movies ever, and it's a movie that I
Mhm.
kind of forget about until I watch it again, and then I'm like, this is the one of the best movies. And like honestly, I needed it today, and we needed this to be our comeback movie because
Yes.
like February was kind of a shit show for both
Oh my
of us. It was
God.
just like you were sick, and we were just like dealing with like the fallout of like
Ugh,
the world and
God.
all that stuff, and just like sitting down and being a part of this world that's like all of these like beautiful scenery and whatever, but I think the thing that I absolutely connected to as a child was the camp. And we've talked
Yes.
about this before in our last podcast series
Mhm.
about like how much we loved camp stories because we never got to go to camp.
Yes. I wanted so badly to go to camp.
Camp Walden for girls is like the
Ugh,
ultimate camp. And I just, can we talk about camp? Like that
yes.
Camp Walden, please?
Yes. It is it problematic for one thing. I mean, their bunks are the names of Native American tribes. That's not great.
And it's like these like upper middle class white kids
Yeah, it's
who
like
with money and
99%
privilege and
white girls, rich white girls. So, you know. But yeah, just like their time at camp and also like putting them in the isolation cabin. What the hell? Like, you're just gonna separate these two and be like, okay, you're gonna stay in here for the entire rest of the summer. I think it's been like a few days
yeah, and
before.
they can only eat with each other too. They have an
Yes,
isolation table as
isolated
well.
tables. Yes. And like obviously they didn't tell the parents. The parents
No.
didn't know they were in this isolation cabin. Like,
These twins did not talk to their parents at all while they were gone,
nope,
by the way.
nope, 8 weeks, not a word.
But I think from that first, like from them being dropped off in their separate ways, like
Mhm.
Annie in a limousine and she gets
Yes.
it with her butler
In her
and
little
his
travel outfit, her
yeah,
little like
oh,
blazer. So
Annie's
cute.
outfits
Get meal.
are perfect.
Yes.
I would still wear that. And and then there's Hallie who's like kind of on her own and she just like
Mhm.
automatically makes these friends that,
Yes.
turn out to be like her friends. And I was kind of like, I really hope they do stay in touch, even though she kind of like they kind of drift because she's in this
Yeah.
isolation cabin and she's making this plan with with Annie. Those names are too alike. I can't keep them straight.
Yeah.
But I love that so much, like the closeness and like how much they just make like best friends right
Yes.
away.
Just instantly. And I'm sure like that's how it is because you're just
Hmm.
with them all the time, all day, every day. Your
I've
bunkmate,
heard. I've heard
you
such
know.
things.
Yeah. Never experienced it. I don't know.
Never experienced it.
But it
Listen to
just seemed
us.
like so much fun. And just
I
like they're like
know.
playing basketball and like hiking and
And you're not with like you have no baggage from your old life. Do you know what
yeah.
I
You're
mean?
like
Like
in
you
you're like
you come a new
from a
person.
different country or from across the country.
I love that. It's just like, and it's in Maine. It's like this just beautiful place. Even when it rains in the isolation cabin, it just feels cozy and just like, I don't know. There's just something about being at that camp, and you're there for quite a bit of time, like
That is
45
like the
minutes.
majority of the movie. Like
Yeah.
it is a long time.
And then
Um,
we go to like five new settings after that.
true, there's a lot going on after. I thought them having just a boy at the all girls camp was really funny. I
That
don't
was
know.
cute
It was
at the
cute.
end because he's like,
It's like I'll come back next year.
you see him throughout trying to contact his mom.
I
Yeah,
know.
I'll be back next year. Don't you worry,
Poor
girls.
kid.
Oh, I love that kid.
Like, how does that happen?
Uh, Yeah, it's really sweet because you see it from like beginning to end of their like camp journey and like other movies that would be the entire movie and that's just like the
Yeah.
start of it, but you still get so much great story and you don't spend a ton of time with all of these ancillary characters, but you understand
Hmm.
where we are and who's involved and just like where I don't know. I love this movie so much. I
And
like
the Marvas,
the
it's like
more
mother and daughter running this camp.
the daughter
So
is
good.
Janice from Friends.
My
Oh,
God.
perfect role for her.
Yes. Her, okay. Whatever her arm movement pointing
I
up
was
to
doing
the,
it along with
what
her.
is that?
So I caught or I read a little like this article where they had a bunch of actors talking about the making of it and
Yeah.
that actress talks about how people will come up to her and do that and she's like
I bet.
everyone always recognizes me as Janice from Friends but once in a while I get someone who's like
Mhm.
you were Marva Jr. and
Yep.
I thought that was so sweet.
Oh, good. Ugh, love them.
Ugh.
I, the logistics. How did they get the beds on top of the cabin
How do they do all of that destruction when like putting all that shit all over Annie's cabin too?
while the
Like
other
when
girls
they're
are sleeping?
sleeping. Did they
Everyone
drug them?
slept through it. I don't know. Because they did a lot. Like one of them had the shaving cream around their head. Like shaving
Yeah.
cream cans are loud. That's
Hmm.
literally right next to your ear while you're sleeping. You're just nothing.
I love how that was the line that you drew in
Yes.
the sand.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is so absolutely ridiculous.
It makes no sense.
But it's
But
fun.
it was entertaining.
It's it's so fun.
It was good.
But you wanted to talk about Annie and I or Hallie and I completely interrupted you.
That's okay. I love Hallie. She is very cool. But she was just mean for no reason. Like she started the whole thing and she was like super mean. They had the fencing match.
To me,
And
it kind of felt like you don't like in others what you see in yourself
I guess, yeah.
is maybe the point that they were trying to make. She was a little aggressive, especially when she felt so friendly.
Hmm.
Like she made friends like, literally the moment she like stepped off the bus at
Yeah.
camp.
It's not like she was like just a mean girl, like in general.
Maybe like in her blood, she knew that this was her sister, and she was like, "I better be mean to her."
This sibling rivalry from
Yeah, she is the Jessica Wakefield of
that
the two of
is
them.
true.
And
Yeah,
then
she definitely is.
Annie's the Elizabeth.
That is true. But yeah, like Annie accidentally knocks her into the water when they're doing
Mhm.
this ridiculous fencing match. I that was a ridiculous scene. How are they doing this? I don't
I
know.
thought it was what the so the things that these twins are good at are poker, fencing, and or Hallie's good at drinking wine. As an 11-year-old, all of these things, I'm like, what does their day to day in their normal life look like?
Hmm. Don't know.
Like, This
Oh
is
no.
wild. Do they like get sent home from school all the time? They're like, your daughter has been betting at recess again.
Probably. It seems like, I mean, the parents are both like very busy
Yeah.
and single
Nick
parents.
Nick was probably like, I'm trying to find my next wife. Okay, I can't be bothered.
Yeah. It'd be a lot easier if I didn't have this 11-year-old around.
I should have just let Elizabeth have both of them.
Right. Yeah. I didn't get it because they both saw it. They both were like shocked. They're like, oh my God, we look alike. And then immediately Hallie's just like, oh, actually, you're really ugly.
I thought that was kind of funny.
What? Of
Yeah,
course
because
not.
they
I
look the
did.
same. They look the same.
Right. I don't know.
You know, if I'm gonna like do my character study, if I'm gonna be if I'm gonna analyze this, I just think that like she sees someone who looks just like her and she doesn't really like, I don't know, have a lot of close people with her at home and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe she's just like, this is too weird. This is too weird. This feels like family, but I don't know about this. Like maybe it's
Yeah.
like a protectant against like something weird is going on and I don't understand it and I like this is like too weird for me.
That could be.
Because
Depends on the
imagine,
person.
fucking imagine going to camp. You have never been told you have an identical twin sister. You know
Yeah.
nothing about your other parent. And you're just like, this person looks like me. That's so weird, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That would be weird. True.
I don't
Could
know.
be.
I did think that that scene was funny, but she is very mean.
Like take her clothes. You take her clothes.
I like a mean little girl character, and that's on
Yeah.
me.
Gotta have it. The little romance between Chessy and Martin was adorable.
Are you kidding me?
I love them. They're perfect.
Martin is a joy.
Yes.
When he like finally is able to like shed his suit, his
Yeah.
butlerness, and
He's
he's
got
like,
his leather jacket.
if I was going to meet my ex-husband and I had legs like yours, this is what I
Yes.
was like, yes. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I I'm just gonna he's a bi icon. Throw it out
Both
there.
him and Chessie are
Yes,
bicons.
absolutely.
They're like the power bi couple.
Hmm. Yeah.
When they meet in the hotel room and he's wearing the Speedo, the way
Oh
that
my
her
God.
eyes immediately go down and then up,
Yep.
I'm like, Jesse.
Jessie is the star.
Jessie is the best. She is
Yes.
absolutely.
And she just immediately just tells, I mean, Annie as Hallie, what's going on. Like, oh,
Yep.
basically she's dating her dad for the money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she had
Like instantly.
she was writing Nick to filth. She was just
Yep.
like, I know exactly what's going on. Your father is being a dummy,
Yep.
but I can't do anything. I have been hired to,
Yep.
and I want to stay in this job because I care about you.
Yeah. Pretty much. What do you do?
I did think that Martin and Chassie had the best chemistry. Like, oh, such good
Yes.
chemistry.
Love them. When
Yeah.
they're on the boat, they're talking about like how they're gonna make it work with the kids.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we can't have them going to two schools every year, whatever. And Chelsea's just still standing there. She's like, no, you can't do that. They're like, excuse me.
Chessie raised what, like, she is a third parent in this situation,
Yes.
actually,
Yes,
guys.
she is. Give her some credit. Ugh, God.
You told me recently that you started wearing a lot more like shirts with buttons and stuff.
Yes,
And I was like, okay, so your style icon is now Chessie?
it is. I was looking, I was
Okay.
like, I need that.
She looked so gorgeous. Her bangs, I really liked her like fluffy bangs and stuff.
Yep.
And I liked her like cool, casual, but also like put together like denim shirts and like
Yeah.
yeah, she looked gorgeous. I
Well,
I think that you should.
I'm gonna do it.
Ugh,
Happening
absolutely.
right now. Today.
And I'm gonna start dressing like Annie
Oh, what?
with little matching
Do it.
tweeds dress
Yeah.
thing.
No, not allowed.
What?
I'm just kidding. You
I
can't.
want to. It's
It's
cute.
cute. It is cute. You gotta have your travel set.
I do like that. I was like, yeah, she looks classy as fuck.
Yep.
Classiest 11-year-old I've ever seen.
Yes.
She also had this, this is an aside for if we're talking about fashion still. She also, Hallie as Annie was wearing this like pink house coat when she was
Oh yeah.
talking on the phone in the under the stairs, and I was like, that's cute as hell, and I want one.
That was super cute. Yes. All the fashion in this was
It was
adorable.
fun. Yeah.
It was. The when she goes to the studio with her mom when they're designing the, the wedding dress fashion shoot.
That was so cute.
How are both these people so
Wealthy?
successful? Yeah.
I don't know.
There's got to be like they had to both be like well off before, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
There's no
well, I think especially Elizabeth because like the class system in England works a lot different. I only know that because
true.
of how people talk about Harry Styles of One Direction.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you look at the home and the wine cellar and all the
Mhm.
vineyards and the fact that they have like horse stables in California
Yeah.
with Nick and Hallie, I'm like, okay, he definitely comes from money because you don't
Oh,
just
for
build
sure.
that by
Yeah.
yourself.
Just do that out of
Yeah.
nowhere. And Meredith says that she saw the wedding dress in Vogue.
Hmm.
Like that's not just like any wedding dress designer to be in
She
Vogue.
made a dress for a Princess and Grace.
Wow.
So I didn't, yeah. It just popped into my head is this scene where Nick is trying to tell Annie as Hallie that he and Meredith are gonna get married. And he's like, I love that. That's so sweet. You're going to adopt Meredith.
Yes,
I
I
was
died.
laughing so hard.
You
That was
adopt this 26-year-old.
Annie like does not have as much personality as Hallie, but like she's funny as hell too.
She
Like she
is.
is really funny.
Yes. I think maybe she just had to be more like reserved as a
Well, she's British.
British person.
I think that that's kind of what
Gotta
they were
do what you
trying to
gotta
say.
do.
That's like why she didn't eat a lot. I think they were
Yeah,
trying to say that British people scare dogs. Because
true.
Sammy was not did not like her.
Was not having it. She was like, "What has got into that dog?" Like, just say, that dog,
She's so frantic in that
not the
moment.
dog that you've had forever.
Yeah. She's like trying to get the door open. She's like, whoa.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh, there are just so many funny moments in this movie.
Oh, there was a lot of just like weird little like references, especially that Hallie made that didn't really seem to make sense for her character.
Like, what are you,
Like
Lucy and
when
Ethel?
yeah, what are you, Lucy and Ethel? Like, is this
Hmm.
11-year-old gonna say that? I don't know. I don't think
I
so.
think it's because she only hangs out with adults,
That
honestly.
that could be true. Yeah, I could see that.
Because I think she imitates like Elvis
Elvis.
Presley and
Yeah.
like all this stuff. I like double named him. I'm like Elvis Presley. Ever heard full
Annie
name
doesn't
him?
know who Leonardo DiCaprio is.
Okay, what? Okay,
She
even when I
would.
was an 8-year-old watching that, I'm like, absolutely not. Everybody knows who
There's no
Leonardo
way.
DiCaprio is.
No way. I thought it was the funniest thing. She's got a Queen Elizabeth II pin that she keeps the photo of her
Oh,
dad in. The
interesting.
dad that they're on the Queen Elizabeth II boat. She's got it in her Queen Elizabeth II tin.
Oh.
It's too weird.
The lore. She knows the parental lore, but doesn't know anything. Like she's holding on to anything she can about like what she knows because
I
their parents
guess.
have told them zero things.
Yes. That's
Like at one
terrible.
point, Elizabeth is like, I knew you were gonna ask me about this one day. You should have already told her about all of this.
Yeah. Like, why you're just keeping it? Wow.
Okay. Yeah, she would have definitely known who Leo DiCaprio, as she says, was in
Cool.
1998 because he was like in British GQ and like he was I mean and not to mention all the movie like he
Like,
no that's
Titanic had
so
just come
weird.
out. Like, come
She
on.
should have said like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah. Someone
like
a
who was
little less
you know
huge at the
yeah
time. Mm.
that was the great research I just did. Was he popular in
You
Britain in the
in
90s?
British GQ. I know Annie saw that episode of British GQ with him in it.
The wait, read
Issue.
the issue?
Yes. Not, it's not an
The
episode.
Vegas.
You know, the magazine episode. She
Actually,
watched it. Okay.
you sound both old and really young at the same time. You said that. Like you don't like you're from a time either before or after magazines.
Hmm. Both, actually.
Your time was made. Oh my God. This I'm about to sound 100 right now
Uh-oh.
because I'm gonna say that they do not make movies like this anymore.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is family movies that are actually for the entire family.
Yes.
Because when you like see movies that like are for children that parents will take their children to, the like Wimpy Kid Diaries and things like that, those are like that kid is not going to watch that as an adult. Do you know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
adult is not going to like is not going to tune in because that is a movie for kids. It's not a movie for
Yeah. It might have
everyone.
like a few little jokes thrown in for the adults, but yeah, it's not like the kids and adults won't both relate to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and this has like everything in it.
Yeah.
It's like a romance, it's a camp movie,
Hmm.
it's like a family, it's just like everything all together.
So good.
That's
Can't
so
stand
good.
it.
I always feel so stupid saying things like that because it really feels like you're like they don't make things like when I was a kid because it's like yeah they do.
Right.
They're just not for you anymore. But I really don't think that they make kinds of movies like this anymore.
Yeah. It's different with like just like the level of attention to detail and things, like how it is so bookended. It
Hmm.
starts exactly the way it ends, and the music. I didn't even know that with the
Hmm.
Natalie Cole. Ugh.
I feel like the 90s had a lot of movies like this. I absolutely hate this movie, but the Santa Claus. And my
Oh,
mom's yelling at me right now because she loves the Santa Claus, and I'm always like, bleh. But the Santa Claus was a movie for families because it had all these things that like adults could enjoy, and it had all these things that kids could enjoy. And it's like
yeah.
relevant, funny humor for everyone.
Mhm.
It's not like talking down or it's like there are things that you might not get as a child, but you
Yeah,
still get the movie as a whole.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you know that this is not the last movie that Lindsay Lohan plays identical twins in?
I feel like I remembered something, but I can't think of what it is. But
There was a movie made in the 2000s called I Know Who Killed Me. It's
oh,
one of the worst things I have ever seen in my entire life. It makes
okay.
absolutely no sense. And the twins are much different.
Yeah,
But she does do this again.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't know she's a twin.
Yeah, she doesn't know she's a twin.
Huh.
She her I don't even remember. It's such a convoluted story, but like she is a twin, she doesn't know it, and she finds out only after. Oh God, she gets kidnapped and then they find the other twin and they think it's her and she has to live this like suburban life. It's really bad. It's like I can't even explain it because of
Yeah.
how stupid it is. But but yeah, it's I really think that they were like, "Oh, she's done this before. This is gonna be such like good press. We're gonna be like, guess who's a twin
Oh
again?"
my God. I don't remember that one at all.
Yeah, okay. I think that what you should do when you get off this call is go read the Wikipedia article for it.
Okay.
That's what I always do with movies where I was like, oh yeah, that movie existed, but I don't want to spend 2 hours watching it. So I
Yeah.
always go and read it
Read the little plot.
because
That's
it
it.
is weird and doesn't make any sense. And it's like
Yeah.
trying to be very like artsy and cool, and it's not.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's that's my contribution to the pop culture zeitgeist. Remember, I know who killed me? No, nobody does.
Nobody has ever seen this movie. I don't want to get into the treatment of Lindsay Lohan.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean like the thing is that I'm not saying that like she has like all of these things because I'm like, oh, she was a mess and it was disgusting. I'm like, I feel for that woman.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
her like I said at the beginning, like her mom was a terror to her and
Mm.
definitely just like wanted a famous daughter. And like Lindsay was so like charming and
Mhm.
charismatic and just like popped on screen and was so good at what she did, and it like
Yeah,
lended itself to being so horribly like abused by her mother and the system, and it's just awful.
it is. That's really awful.
How about that ear piercing scene?
Oh yeah. Oh
Did
my.
you like that? Did you like that?
Yes.
I just okay. I only bring this up because okay, they both cut their hair to Hallie's length, which
Yeah.
is like shoulder length, the cute like you were talking about the cute little side bangs. I love it. And then she was like, "Oh shit, I have my ears pierced." She doesn't say, "Oh shit, I have my ears pierced."
Fuck.
So they have to pierce Annie's ears. And then when Annie gets back to England, both Martin and her mother are like, "Oh, you have your hair cut and your ears pierced." And I was like, my mom would be like, "Excuse me?"
Right? What have you done?
Then I remembered that one New Year's when we were about 15 years old. Do you recall?
I sure do.
Where my parents were away for the weekend and my sister had her friends over. They made Bacardi Raz Jello shots.
Yep.
I only remember that because like the I could feel the taste of Bacardi Raz in my throat. It's so
Yeah.
disgusting. And we ate like a pan. Remember we sat there eating like
Yep.
because they couldn't get it to set right, so they ended up just like putting it in a pan. So we're just like eating like a sheet pan of
God.
drunk 15. And I was like, you should just pierce my ear all the way down. So
Yeah.
we decided to do that with no needle.
I was like, okay.
And I and my mom was just like got back and was kind of like okay, what? Those piercings all got affected. They did not last. Just
Yep.
not a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yep.
But that really took me back.
I know. And then we did some other self piercings that were okay when we knew a little bit more what we were doing. Not recommending it. Should probably go to a
No,
professional, but
go to a professional.
well, we improved our technique a bit.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because I have not like that just like sparked that memory in my I was
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, we did that. That was a good night though.
I think my mom said she pierced like all of her ears herself, all of her ear holes. She just got a bunch.
Your mom pierced my second holes.
Yeah, because we were gonna do it ourselves. And then she was like, "Wait, I've done this before.
Yeah.
Step
She
aside."
she made my mom come over and we all the four of us, me, you, my mom, and your mom stood in your upstairs bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. I I feel like that's all. I could honestly talk about this movie like line by line, scene by scene forever, but I mean those were like the biggest moments that stood out for me.
Yeah, it's so good. Classic.
It really is. It's not just nostalgia. It is a
No.
really well written and filmed and acted movie. Everyone
Yeah.
is just like on their fucking game. And Natasha Richardson, R.I.P.,
Oh, I
beautiful
know.
and just
So sad.
lovely and perfect.
Yeah. Definitely questionable storyline, but just
But
so well done.
yeah.
Amazing.
Elaine Hendricks as Meredith Blake.
Yes.
She's so villainous and so funny.
First change I make is to send that two-faced little brat off to boarding school in Timbuktu.
Oof, ice woman.
Proud of it, babe.
Yes. Love her. Her Prada backpack.
There's a point where she's sitting with Annie as Hallie on the this like double benched porch swing, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know what you call that. And they're kind of like, going back and forth.
Hmm.
And Meredith is like, you're gonna fall in love soon too. And Annie's like, I don't even have my 12-year-old molars. And Elaine goes,
Yes.
well, take it as someone who got their molars a little early. I'm like, okay, they're talking about boobs,
Yeah,
right?
they're not talking about molars.
This is the first time where I was like, they're talking about boobs.
I mean, I have always thought they were just talking about sex.
Oh. Well, yeah, they're talking about like developing and
Yeah,
like, yeah, falling in
like
love and being
maturing.
sexual. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the molars thing, I was like, ah.
What what a clever way to put it.
Mhm. Get past those PG censors.
Yep.
When the when it pops up on Disney Plus and tells you what's wrong with the movie, it says PG for some mild mischief and contains tobacco depictions.
Oh no. Not tobacco depictions.
The grandfather smokes a pipe.
Yeah. Well, and she has her cigarette. The mom has a cigarette when she's a mess.
You smell like peppermint and pipe tobacco.
And tobacco.
Yeah, just such a great movie. I absolutely loved it. It made me want to drink wine.
Yes.
Honestly, I was like, all that like the champagne and like they talking about like reserve. I was like, I don't know anything about this wine, but it looks great. Let's drink it.
We gotta go back to Napa. It was
Oh,
fun.
that was one of my favorite trips ever. Yeah,
Yes.
that yeah with the champagne tasting with
Mhm. The little
with Matt
chocolate.
just like being like, oh, I
I just
like that.
oh no.
Yeah, that was great. I feel like we should do like a long weekend in Napa,
We
Sonoma, for
should.
sure. We should try to see if these were like there's any filming locations.
Hmm. I did look up the hotel only. And it's
The
not a real
Safford.
hotel. It's a I
Yeah.
think they said it was like some kind of warehouse. I don't know. But that was the only thing I looked at.
I wonder where they filmed uh for the vineyard scenes.
Yeah, I don't know. Mm, Probably somewhere over there.
Well, well, I'll meet you there.
All right, let's go. You all meet us there too, listeners.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Do we do
We
it?
did it. We're back in.
Did we bring our divorced parents back together?
Yes, absolutely. Welcome back.
Oh, I was like, I bet that they made them around 11 years old because if they were any older, they'd be like, what the fuck, mom and dad?
Yeah, even 11 is like pushing it.
If I had been through this and I was like 16, I'd be like, oh, I can't borrow the car. Remember when you separated me from my twin sister? Hmm.
Yeah,
We're not really doing themes, but I did want to do like this made me want to do another 20 kind of thing. So we are gonna do
yeah.
like a Sweet Valley book next week or in 2 weeks. Not quite sure yet what yet, but I felt like it was kind of along the same thing. And I always want to do a Sweet Valley book.
Twins. Yeah.
So twins are the best. Like we loved twins in the in the 90s. We
Yes.
loved them.
I wanted to be a twin so bad.
But only kid twins because adult twins kind of were like freaky. Like
It was kind of
think
weird.
about I'm not saying they're freaky, but I'm saying like I think that we like we would not have accepted that as a culture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like the Evan and Jaren who sing sorry, I was singing it in my head. I could not get to so they sing Crazy
I
for
can
This
only
Girl.
think of Story About a Girl. Who's that?
No, that's 9 days, I believe.
Okay.
Um but they're twins, and if you watch that music video, which I do constantly because it's kind of like I don't know, weird. They're like twin brothers who are like in this band together, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't think that people accept. I don't think like we wanted this, you know what I mean?
Mm, it's too weird. Can't have two of the same person.
Mm-mm. Not as adults. No, no, no. Like grow up, right?
Yeah. Get your own looks. Okay.
Yeah, get your own thing, man.
Yeah.
On that note, you can find us on Instagram at Nostalgic Nightcaps and rate and review on whatever platform you are currently listening. And let's do this again. Ashley, what should our listeners tell us when they review? What question or thing they should answer?
What is your most normal weird combination, food combination?
Oh,
Like Oreos and peanut butter that you thought was kind of weird and everyone thought was weird, but it's really actually just fine and delicious
yeah.
and tell me because I'll eat it.
Because I'll eat it, okay?
I'll eat it.
Yeah.
Promise.
Like pineapples on pizza. Shit's good,
Yeah.
whatever.
Like,
Like stop freaking out
come
about what
on.
people eat.
Yeah. And I need some variety in my life. So okay.
Pickles on pizza? Mm.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
Okay, they have to be like good, like the grill kind of pickles, like
Oh
the like
yeah.
good ass pickles. But
That's are good. That Bloody Mary was
yeah,
actually delicious.
I'm gonna have to try and find that.
Do it.
All right, and you should too.
All right. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.